A very good afternoon to you, our viewers. You're welcome to another wonderful episode of the Roundtable. My name is Shegun Odunayo. You know what we do on the show. We bring you three major topics affecting the polity, and we analyze them. We talk for and against, as the case may be, concerning these topics. I have two interesting guests with me today. One a regular, one a newcomer. I think I should start with the newcomer, Abdulaziz. Yes, Abdulafiz. Did I get it correctly? Yes, Abdulafiz Fadehon. To my left, and is the newcomer. Welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is the roundtable. On this roundtable, we dissect issues.
No problem.
All right, and to my right, I have, you know him already. Some people tag him Mr. Controversial. I don't know. I think it just gives us the basics. From August 1 to 10th, but you know, somehow some announcements of suspensions were made. It looks like they are still doing it in the north, but the end bad governance protests have come and they've gone down for now. What have we learned from it? The controversies, the chaos, the catastrophe, the troubles, the plus and minuses, as the case may be, that has happened to Nigeria and Nigerians in the last 8 days. The first day started on a very, very interesting note. Almost everywhere in Lagos was very quiet. Major roads became lonely. Lots of protesters came out to the streets. In many parts of the country, the protests held. In the southeast, it didn't hold. In some southern states, talking about the south, it didn't hold. But in Port Harcourt, it was very big. And the Governor Simfubara, was there to address them on more than one occasion. In the north, that was where was truly the epicenter of the protest, from Kaduna to Kano to Borno. Almost everywhere in the north, especially the northwest and the northeast, protests did happen. And of course, Lagos, but there was no controversy, no chaos, no catastrophe in Lagos. But up north and in some other places, scores of persons were killed. Police brutality, some targets. The police also had their own casualty. There was this particular video from Katsina where a policeman driving a truck, a major truck, was trying to, I think, is it water now or something? Trying to use that on
hot water.
Yeah, hot water on the people. Unfortunately, it crashed into another policeman, and that didn't look good. The IG came out to speak and said they've lost men, Nigerians have died, and all that. I remember we were saying it just the show before the 1st of August, which was on the day for another roundtable show, that hey, when things like this happen, usually lives get lost. I'll start with you, Mr. Aliu, because I knew for a very long time you were against the protest in the first place, and some persons will probably have even thought there was a bias of yours in favor of the government. But you know, looking at it from your angle, especially looking at what has happened in the last week or so, many Nigerians have been lost, many lives have been lost. The dollar is still high. Fuel subsidy that was removed, even though it has been brought back, you know, fuel is still high. The prices of PMS is still high. Nothing much have changed. But those people who have lost families have lost them forever.
It is what it is. Protests will always get some of these things happening. But again, I think Nigerians should just be a bit patient with the government. The lives lost would not be regained. We may regain some part of the money lost, but lives, it doesn't worth it. This destruction we bring ourselves. We are not already developed. We don't have enough things on ground, and we are destroying the little ones we have. Look at the destruction in Kano, the ICT Center for Youth. That's part of the thing the government is trying to use to develop you, and you're destroying it. So what is the essence of the protest? See, the government is supposed to care for the people who are great. The government is supposed to provide leeway, succor for people suffering. But to what extent, again, we should define it. Can the government give you everything? So the government can't give you everything. Sometimes they provide enabling environment. What is enabling for you might not be enabling for me. But still, we will have to get back. And it's not by war. With discussion, we enter into engagement. So the protest, for me, was not okay.
Abdulaziz, do you think we've been able to achieve, anything positive, looking at why we had people come out in the first place? Have we been able to achieve anything, our goals?
Nothing was achieved. Well, something might have been achieved, and that's the chaos. The negative side was achieved because a lot of people were expecting negativity, loss of lives, properties, and I think that's what the protest was able to bring. No positive. We heard the president.
Yeah, I was coming to the president, but let's just talk about the positives. So you're saying zero positivity?
Zero positivity.
Zero, completely zero.
I disagree with you when you say zero.
Okay.
You don't say that.
Okay.
The government, it tells you that the power still belongs to the people.
Okay.
It tells you there could be anarchy, and it tells you there could be peace. Because we went on protest, we show rampage, we destroy. Yeah, we can go do it worse than this. So it tells the government, like I said, always, it keeps the government on its toe.
The protesters have come out to say
hold on. I think this government was thinking it was taking the people for a ride. The government, the APC government think maybe they have cajoled everybody into believing they are superstars, the Tinubu people. But it tells you it can boomerang. It tells you, so at least we'll be able to achieve that. Look, going forward, if you don't treat things right,
you can't take people for a ride.
Don't take people for a ride. Don't take them for granted. So fix the things that are not good. Anytime you see protests telling government that, look, we can turn it around, we can make it mix. Look at what is happening in the UK. They are telling the government, if you don't deal with this situation, it can turn to anarchy. So we've achieved that in telling the government, look, it can go haywire. We can go another route. We can. It's peaceful now. That's why you're enjoying it. You are enjoying this leadership. If not, so at least we'll be able to tell the government, look, we have a voice. We can say our mind. But the way we are saying it is what we're saying. Look, let's say it peacefully. Let's say it orderly. Let's say it with concession. Let's say it, and people hear. At least the government to have heard.
Okay, the protesters, especially their leading lights, the leading names, have come out to say, for every state that there was chaos, it was entirely the fault of the state. It was entirely the fault of the security officials, because they are the ones that kept on saying the protests were going to get hijacked, and it was more like they were preaching hijacking. And eventually what they were speaking about came into existence, because they were meant to guard against that for many weeks, especially as this was a long-term protest over at least a month or more, and that they did nothing about it, and that they just allow Nigerians die needlessly. What do you think about it?
I disagree with some of those statements. I disagree with some of them because we need to...
You don't think the security officer should have done enough? Should have done more than what
this is it. As a security officer, when somebody is attacking you, look at there was a video of a man that was being attacked during that Kano own, and the security man was trying to, if not for courage, imagine if they attacked him and killed him. So you first of all think of defending yourself. How do you get out? Would you shoot a shot to disperse the people? And if you shoot, would he, if one dies among 20, can you escape? So first of all, your defense. Or look at when they took that armored vehicle somewhere, maybe in Katsina. Yeah. So imagine if the police officer there too is not that with a confidence that, look, I can muster them and control them. Somebody who is jittery, because in all security forces, we have weak, strongest. So if the guy is the weak one and he begins to shoot, people will die. So we need to control some of these things. We need to look at, don't blame the security men for shooting at those who are vandals, those who are hijacking it for their own purpose, for their own gains, for what you call that word for it now, bad intention. So the security must provide security at that level. So what would you do? Would you not shoot to scare them away? Now when you shoot, if it becomes a stray bullet, sometimes these things happen. But we are not saying that we should condemn the security men for doing their job entirely. No, we are saying do it perfectly. Do it. So to do these things to is money. You see the UK guys, the way they are, these things are coordinated. These things, the event is not cheap. So if we not spend enough money, you expect people to die.
All right, I'll come to you, Abdulaziz. Sorry. Journalists were attacked, especially in Abuja. Our colleagues in Abuja were tear gassed. Many of them became emergency Olympians with the way they were run. You needed to have seen some of these videos. These are men and women that are not trained to run. They are trained to report. They are trained to do journalism. I was seeing a particular video of a lady, a journalist, who, you don't know anybody's health conditions, for God's sake. And then you're using tear gas on this was what happened. This was where the protesters were saying. This was where the journalists were staying. The security officials were like the referees, and they shot tear gas here and shot tear gas here. So it was not a mistake. It was crystal clear
Deliberate.
that was what they wanted to do. And according to them, they said some of the security officials told them, if you people are not here to, to record them, to get their voices, to put the spotlight on them, they won't be there in the first place. That they are there because they know the journalists were equally there. What do we have to say to things like this?
About the activities of the men of the force. One thing I know is there's something the Marxists call functionalist. So
Marx.
Everything, every activity is going on in the state has a function on its own.
So it's functional as well.
So the function of the police is to curb crime, is to put law in order. But then, how do they act if there is no crime? So they are actually looking for a perfect chaos to go in action. So the cases of, so now they are going to look for excuses that, okay, in Lagos, the protest was peaceful. But then I think a few days ago, there was a case of this journalist that was reporting live, and I think he was slapped.
He was harassed by
called hoodlums in quotes, hoodlums. That was the controversial excuse from the police or from the state that it was hoodlums. Okay, fine. Why are they there? Right where the journalist was staying, if you look at the video, you can see police officers cycling around them. Then how can somebody be able to
just 4 or 5 people?
Yes, be able to just go and disrupt the activities of the journalist. Look at in Abuja, a porn journalist. The NSAs they arrested a porn journalist.
Yes, they did.
Seized his properties.
Yeah.
Why are they doing these things? So when I said that the protest achieved no positivity, this is the reason, sir. They knew what we can do as youths, and they are already waiting. They mobilized. I think about 4 months ago, there's this family of 6 kids with their dad that they were abducted by Abuja kidnappers.
Yeah.
And they were trying to raise 60 million naira for them. So definitely, if Nigeria can have this strength of force in Nigeria that they can deploy for this protest, why are they not acting?
Why are they not arresting the situation before it becomes what it is?
It becomes what it is.
All right.
So now, the issue of the protest. So again, they tried everything possible not to make the protest happen. We can see so many press statements flying around that, okay, we are backing out. Even they are even protesting against protest.
Protesters before the protesters. Anti-protest protesters.
So that too, and there was a claim that there is a court order restricting protesters.
Just a day before August 1.
And did you see the court order?
I did not see it.
Yes, sir, did you see the court order?
I did.
I didn't see the court order.
Yeah, there's a court order restricting people to.
And did you see the documents?
No, I didn't see.
Something like that. In fact, no media house reported it in quotes. What the court order is spelling out.
But definitely the court order has restricted them to.
But there was
okay.
I think what he's saying is there was no ETC, there was no evidence, because you don't print, you don't get it out, except the only kind of judgment that will get the ETC out almost immediately.
The CTC.
The CTC, I beg your pardon, is anything that has to do with politics. But there was no CTC for that.
The CTC is always not made available to journalists. You have to go to the court to get those CTC.
The lawyers eventually present.
So if the lawyers get those, so they didn't present.
The lawyer said they did not get it.
What we're saying is, was there a judgment or not?
You know,
was there a verdict?
Was there a sitting judgment?
If there's a verdict and
so the
it's not given to those people that
those
is
involved,
upon.
the government has told you that this is the rule. It's not about looking for 60 or not 66 or it says go here.
The lawyer
it says
said,
protest here. It says do this thing here. So if you're doing it there at that ramification, it's
but
okay.
the lawyer said they did not have it. They didn't see it.
It's like somebody said Koniman died, Koniman burial. The man said you want to protest. The man said go here and protest.
Okay, I think we should just allow
to finish.
Yeah.
You see, even when reporters are reporting, every editor, we give you an instruction that you must quote the part of where you are trying to tell people. Even when you get a statement from someone, it's your duty to quote the person exactly the way the person gave out their word. Even a court statement, maybe an arraignment, you have to quote the arraignment.
Yeah.
A judgment, you have to quote the judgment. So now there's a court order restricting protesters to maybe this park, this is park, and there is no court statement, there is no quote anywhere in the whole Nigerian media space. So then.
But did they get an injunction?
What I'm talking about?
Did they get an injunction?
The security agents harming journalists. That's my question.
I'm sick of it.
It's not every time you see the
journalists in Nigeria are the most endangered species in this country. The citizens will attack journalists. The police will attack journalists. The government will attack journalists. It's a no. My point is, it happened. Endbadgovernance,
it is wrong.
It happened again. No, I just want to get
very wrong.
Now, how do we? Now, what was the offense of that lady that was tear gassed and our colleagues had to help her? What was the offense of that journalist who brought his car to cover and they shot at his vehicle?
What are they aiming at?
That's what we are saying. What if any journalists had died? Look at our colleague. What is unfortunate? This is not the first time the police is attacking and harming him as an individual.
Do you know something? This is what we suffer in the line of duty. In the line of duty, journalists suffer so much.
We are not in Ukraine. We are not in Afghanistan.
This is not a war zone.
You talk about functionality now, and in their functionality, I want to reason the way they are reasoning at that point.
That's what I was asking. If you were saying if it was functional for Nigerian journalists to be attacked, are you saying Marxism allows for the attack of Nigerian
No, don't get me wrong.
So you are saying
I'm trying to make a balance between crime and policing.
So make your balance, let's see.
So that was why I said functionalism.
So the journalists too should be beaten, attacked, harassed
for covering and encouraging protests. Because that's what
the media are actually looking for something to report.
So being beaten is sweet.
No,
functional.
Actually, I will say yes. To some extent, I will say yes.
Thank you very much, Abdullah. All right, very quickly, let's talk about the president's speech. We must talk about it. Even though my colleagues are saying we have to leave. Now, many persons became really angry post the speech of the president on Sunday. Many people were expecting a really heavy statement. By heavy statement, I mean, okay, as a result of this protest, so and so should be done. So and so should be done. But rather, the president came up with, the kind of speeches we've seen him, we've gotten used to since he became president, the CNG buses. The way the president speaks, he's always speaking futuristically. He never really talks about the now. He's never really particular about the present. And that's why some people have come out to say perhaps the president is anti-masses, because the people are telling you they are feeling the pain, they are feeling the pinch. How can you absorb this pain right now? The children are crying, Daddy, my feet is hurting me, and Daddy is saying, we know tomorrow when you go to school. Those are the kind of things that the people have been hearing from the president over time. Mr. Liu, the president did not meet the needs of the people.
The president's speech is apt. It's appropriate. There is nothing wrong with that speech. People are just belly aching. He has been telling you before the things he's planned and so on and so forth. He tells you this man you won't just jump him to say what do you want the president to say. Those who are saying the president
was asking for full subsidy to be brought
back
during the week.
Sorry. Let's take it one.
That subsidy is back.
Let's take it one.
Let's
take it one after the other. Okay. So people are expecting him to say subsidy is back.
Yes.
Now,
fully.
Remember, the only company that is bringing in fuel into the country, PMS precisely, is NNPC. And NNPC has a way of doing his own back buy. So everybody's talking about landing costs and so on and so forth. That is when they buy. That will be their own landing cost. But this is NNPC buying. This is NNPC selling. NNPC sells crude. NNPC sells design. He knows how he's getting his own money. It's not as if government is pouring subsidy into that thing. So people should get it straight. You should know. Though we need to ask ourselves more questions about it, and I like how the question is going. But this is what I'm saying. The president's speech, let's stick to that, is apt. The man is not being rushed to do anything. Yes, everything, things must be planned. And he has been saying, well, look, I'm doing this hectare of land, I'm doing this, I'm doing CNG buses, I'm doing that. Let's follow it through for some time and see if it's going to be fruitful or not.
All right. We have to move on now. But very quickly, we'll move on. This is August, the 8th to be precise.
Yeah.
Mr. Mele Kyari said August is not lying. The referendum going to happen, or we still have to...
If they are still going to shift and push the goalposts, let's wait and see. But let's all hold them to their job. This protest, that's what I'm telling you, that look, the protest achieved something. It tells you that look, people are not docile in this country. Yeah, people are not latent. Yeah, they are trying to tell you.
Abdulafiz, very quickly, the Marxist. Now, just very quickly, the president's speech, over 10, how do you rate it? What did you think it was about? How did you see it?
I think, he has, that speech has always been how he has been living his life, even right from the days of being governor of Lagos State. So, I was expecting that.
You're not expecting anything.
I wasn't expecting anything different from
new. Anything instant.
Yes. His campaign, the speech is part of what he gave out to us during his campaign. On the day of his inauguration as president, he told us that starting won't be rosy. Yes. Don't expect the sweetness. There will be some
will be bitter, hungry, but we can manage our hunger.
So it was still the same thing he was telling us. He told us that he can bring back the subsidy. So we still need to manage the way the subsidy. In fact, this thing about the subsidies, I don't even think people really understand what that subsidy is.
Okay.
Because buying the fuel, I think they are buying with dollars.
Yeah.
And if we want to buy it directly at the rate of dollar, I think we should be buying a liter of fuel
about 1.5
or 1.6, 1.7. So, when he came around, I think we were buying fuel 500 naira, and I think dollar then was 7 something. So the subsidy that he was paying then, at least maybe I don't know how they calculate the subsidy.
No, as a then it was less than.
It was less than.
There's so much issues about subsidy.
But subsidy is back.
It's fully back, and I think they are even paying times 2.
What the people are, that's because of our forex subsidy.
That is our.
But what people are saying is no. You brought us to this situation.
Okay, sorry.
You put us in this era.
Let me.
No. I'm just trying to explain.
You know what I'm saying? I've been to the depot. I've seen some of these things done. Do you know that before now, during the early days of Buhari, they were paying tanker drivers to convey fuel from Lagos to Maiduguri? They pay their transport.
The people right now.
Now, what I'm saying is this: these subsidies are in different.
To take full responsibility. This shared pain is bringing nothing positive to Nigerians. I don't want to.
People are working on rumor too much in this country. Too much rumor. Too much on words that are not facts.
Okay, what rumor?
We're talking about subsidy. We are all only calculating based on the things we don't know.
Did the president say subsidy was gone or not?
The president said subsidy is gone.
So why didn't the president?
So why are we now saying that subsidy is back?
No, but the president did not tell us subsidy was back.
So we saying subsidy is back.
The Nigerian people found out.
That's exactly what I'm saying. The theory is like if oil is landing at this.
Okay.
I just give an example. NNPC is the one buying. If NNPC is the one buying, they can know how to buy.
Okay. If they can pay the subsidy that is making us buy fuel at 800, 850 now, why can't they pay the subsidy that will make us buy fuel at 100 naira?
Now, this is the thing. The government needs more money. So part of this money. Now, hold on. One of the reasons for even this subsidy rumor is that look, we are buying fuel in this country. We are paying subsidy in this country. And they are taking it to Cameroon. They are taking it to Niger. They are taking it to Togo. To other countries. So let's not be spending money for other West African countries. And we're forgetting about those theories too.
Fantastic.
So we're not looking at that. I think Nigerians always like to cry wolf when they shouldn't be crying wolf.
Now that we know the liters of fuel we consume in this country per day.
Yeah.
We have eliminated.
Do you think
they know. We've eliminated the selling to Niger.
It's alone. Do you know that's one thing about it? I still say that this is going on.
The president said he was removing subsidy for that reason.
Yeah.
He removed
for one of those reasons.
On the first day he came into power. 1 year plus down the line. Now we are paying more because subsidy is a large percent gone, even though it's not fully
That's
gone.
what you think.
No, that's what we are saying.
Don't let us
No.
sit on
If
that
subsidy
ground.
is fully gone, we'll be buying per litre for 1819, 17.
Recall that you also
Because
have,
of what is happening at the international market.
so if you're looking at what is happening at the international market, and NMC is telling you, look, this is the amount. Currently now, the why we're having crisis, that NMC is saying this is the amount I want to sell, but the marketers are saying no, this is not the amount they want to sell. That's why we're having the issues we're having now. NMC wants it to stay at 530.
All right. Unfortunately, time is not our friend. We have to move on to the next topic, and it has become synonymous to this Minister of Power. And what am I talking about? We are talking about the collapse of the national grid. This year alone, that grid has collapsed about 5 times. 5 times the national grid has collapsed. Every now and then, you get a text, you get a message. Your DC distribution companies most likely apologizing to you, especially if you use, IKE, DC, and I think EKE. Very quick to apologize. We're sorry, the grade is down, and now it is becoming unhealthy. I mean, how do we expect industries to survive? It has been on and on. The Minister of Power came to tell us that he was going to group all of us in bands, and that was the solution to the crisis. Removal of electricity subsidy. Subsidies are just being removed every now and then. Imagine, we are just thankful that we don't pay for breath. Else, how many Nigerians will be living right now because subsidies are just being removed right, left, and center. Band A was the most expensive, and it was said that if it survives over time, they will move all Nigerians to that band so that we can have higher, power coming in, and of course, increase. If you have friends who live in areas that are band A, if any of our viewers know anybody, relative or friends who live in such regions, ask them how they're feeling. I'm sure you feel how unpalatable the situation is with them. But very quickly, Nigerians have been grouped in bands. Abdulafiz, but the grouping of Nigerians in bands has not affected the grid from collapsing every single time. The grid collapses for fun now. What is wrong? Is the Minister of Power able to handle this problem? Is the ministry bigger than the minister?
See, engineer. So, and I don't know much about the consumption, how we consume power in the country. But then, one thing I know is let me just talk about the economy generally. I think Nigeria is a confused economy. We actually don't know if we are going to belong in the capitalist economy or in the communist economy. Because how do you remove subsidy? You want to rake in more taxes. You want people to pay for everything they do. And then you are still now sending out palliatives, sending rice out. So, in a communist economy, you send out palliative, it takes care of everybody. And people are just born to, live their life, go to work, and work as much as they can. But then you take taxes, then you give back little. So now look at the ban this thing. I don't think there is a way they can even get this ban, because then we don't even have a perfect industrial area. You see people just buying. I think there's a new land there. They just filled it. Oh yeah, how much is 500,000? Yeah, let me pay. A lot of people just buying land here and there. Even if you even check the demolition that has been going on in Lagos this past times, if you find out that most of these people that are getting those houses, they tell you that they have documents backing the land they bought. But then the government will tell you that these places you are buying lands are not meant for
sale.
For residents.
Yes.
So even the citizens are confused lots.
You said we are operating confused economy.
Confused economy.
Can you imagine?
I'm enjoying it.
That's so. Let me come in.
Okay.
Now, what is this band? What is this national grid that is crumbling? So when the national grid crumbles, they will give us reasons. So Me, I have issues too with while it keep crumbling, and it should crumble
5 times in a year.
It should crumble
so far as at August.
So is the national grid where we source the energy from? Is the national grid the transporter? Is the national grid? So we need to look at it again. What do we even need as power generally? It can collapse. No, we don't have issues with that. But again, what is the quantity of power that you need to sustain the Nigerian economy? So I think that's what we should look at. Like, how do we generate more? For all the same problem now, this national grid issue, lack of power. That was why they said, okay, let's break NEPA into different. We have now the GENCO, we have the DISCOs. Then we are still doing the same thing now. They are also giving states licenses to do what? To begin to generate or determine, as much as generate, they also determine what is the light bill for their states. Now, I just keep on asking myself, but again, how about generation? That is what we should be working on.
That's where the problem is. Because we have over 40,000, but we don't generate enough.
So if we generate more and we have more light, so if this grid is collapsing, there will be more grids. I think they should look at this problem holistically and say, what is the problem? For me, the problem is that we don't have enough. So let's go and generate light. Let's think of how to generate more.
Last week, the grid collapsed once more. And there's no assurance that before the end of this year,
we are even expecting more collapse, because during this festive moment, people there's tendency of consuming more power.
Sometimes I ask, where are the people?
Imagine somebody that only owns a residential house and just family, nothing to the house, no industrial equipment, and paying for band.
And he's on band-aid.
So I
have a friend on band-aid now. I mean, this guy pays every week, I beg your pardon, every week over 10K for band-aid.
Is he enjoying the light?
He's enjoying the light.
So if you're enjoying your light,
but
you don't
have that financial power.
You know before now. That's why when he says we are operating a confused economy, I laugh, because I'm in that state that look, we the people are sometimes confused. Before now we're saying give us light, we'll pay. That was what they were saying before they do this. They did not see Nigerians were optimistic. Okay, let me say Nigerians were optimistic that if you give us enough light and we see light regularly, we would be able to pay. Normally, the economy should be able to run you to pay. But you see, there is no freebie anywhere. There is nothing gifted. We all have to work this work. So it means that.
Are you on band-aid?
I don't want to say I'm not on band-aid, because recently I just got my bill to. When there was a crisis, a crisis within the past 3 months, we got our bill for like 1,000 plus, and we said, this is the appropriate billing.
1,000 naira.
Yeah, wow. For a month. Though we don't enjoy light, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours. This is our area in the Bafo here. The light is pathetic. But this is
out of 24 hours.
Yeah, 3, like that, because we have some days you can't even tell. So if you have more light and you're being billed for it, so learn to manage it. In this economy, learn to use the light for what you are supposed to use it for, not just on it anyhow and do that. Now that's one. Then we should also be truthful while we are billing ourselves. See, I see a lot of skirmish in the billing system. I don't enjoy it. It should be open. I should know what I'm using. I should know that this is my amount.
These are for guys who don't use meters now.
Yeah. So even if you don't use meter, you should know. If you don't use meter, you expect to pay 2,000 naira in a month. Because you know that because you're not using meter, you are going to pay 2,000 naira.
There's a target, and once you are off meters, they just share the rest amongst those without meters.
What these guys want is just profit.
Many times they can really be,
It's about breaking even for them now. Whether they supply you light or they don't supply you light, they look at it. Look, this is what it's going to be.
I think many Nigerians should also go get their meters if you don't want to be cheated.
I don't think they're even ready to even give the meters out, because there are so many residential houses that they don't have meters. And I don't even think that people are meant to pay for these meters.
No, they are free.
They are free.
The meters are meant to be free.
That's what you think. But if you get to their portal, you still have to pay.
And why are they not releasing the meters? Okay,
recently my wife told me that somebody told her that the meter fee is now ×2, which means you are going to pay close to 180,000 to get a meter.
To get a meter.
So see, that's what I'm saying. We need to be truthful.
The government have said many times
the national grid
meters are free.
You know, we are on why the national grid is collapsing or
yes.
what. See, they need to really look at it. Sometimes it could be vandals, but anytime it collapses, can they just say this is the reason? I guess when the last one that collapsed, it was it 2 or 3 days ago? They said some things. Yes, you can have fault if they are old. You have to build new ones and so on and do that. But this is an investment that is really, really capital intensive. As much as it's capital intensive, the burden also should not be from the consumers. Because I think this guy, what they are doing now is that, look, taking it from the consumer and enjoying themselves is wrong. Billing us that much for all light is wrong. For us to pay for this investment you've done in just 1-2 years, I think this guy just want to make profit.
All right.
And I don't like
you can see where Mr. Ali is coming from. You know, it's about majorly for him is about, you know, overestimated bills, estimated bills that are coming in at a very high price, and you know, it's understandable, but somehow it's absurd. If you are watching Minister of Power, do something about it. If you pick 15 Nigerians and you ask 10 of them whose side they are standing on how effective the Minister of Power is, it looks like most persons will be saying that the Minister of Power is not doing enough. The grid collapses for fun every now and then. For people in Band-Aid, they are complaining that they don't even have the financial resources to buy light as often as they do. For people in Band B, some are complaining that they don't even have light at all. Estimated bill persons are equally saying that they are paying too much for the power that they are getting.
They're not getting
padded bills.
the power they are not
So
getting.
Padded bills.
it's complaints every now and then from various centers, from Nigerians. We do hope that the power minister will do something about it. Very quickly, we move on to the last topic of the day. The House of Representatives came out in recent weeks to say, Nigerians, we understand your sufferings, we understand your pain, and because of this reason, we are going to be cutting off 50% of our salaries. We are not collecting 50% of our salaries. We are standing in solidarity with the Nigerian people, and for this reason, we are going to be staying with only half of what we are meant to have. Even though there was a clash of some sort between the speaker and the deputy speaker about how much they truly earn, they eventually aligned and said, as a group, as a house, they are doing away with 50%. And many Nigerians were looking forward to that truly happening in the month of July. But it didn't happen for bureaucratic reasons, they said. I will start with you, Mr. Ali. You know, it was expected that while we are in the era of managing, while we are in the era of, you know, the bend, the curve, the presidency was meant to lead. That did not happen. We were also thinking it was going to start from the Senate. That did not happen. Somehow, the House of Representatives have been magnanimous enough to consider Nigerians and say, we are cutting off 50% of our salaries, even though many Nigerians have also come out to say, that is not where the real sweet is for you guys. It is in your allowances. It is in your extra codes. However, they've done enough, or they've done their bit in cutting off the 50%. The question now is, they said for bureaucratic reasons it did not happen. Now, how sure are we that in August we are not going to get some complaints?
Well, from the feelers we are getting, they are sure. One of their spokesperson said they have moved it to the accountants and they are sorting themselves out. But again, let's how much is that safe to the crisis we are having? It's like just a drop. What would you do with that 300? Maybe at once, maybe 300.
So you think it's not worth it?
It's a good gesture.
Do you think so?
It's a good.
It's a deceptive
Oh, you
gesture.
think it's deceptive?
It's a good gesture.
Just like the way the presidency told us that they have 40,000 bag of rice, 40,000 bag of rice as strategic points.
No, so even that scheme has been said to have been cancelled now.
So I just think
The news coming in this afternoon has it that even that has been cancelled.
it's just a way, a kind of way to make people pity the government and say, oh, we are not protesting.
All right,
So that's it.
all right, there you have it. Last words.
Let's. Sometimes you look at the government, you just get tired. You think you are supporting them, you think you know them, you don't know them.
I thought you already had something before.
I just wanted to say, well, what they are going to do,
on
even what the federal government is, the palliative the government is giving, how convenient, how enough is it to the problem we are facing?
All right.
The government is not enough.
All right. My producers have been saying it's time for us to go. Oh my goodness, time. Not our friend on days like this. A very big thank you to the Marxists, the man who brought on Marxism onto the show, the man who said Nigeria operates a deceptive economy, a confused economy. All right, beautiful. Abdulhafiz Fadehan, thank you very much. Hopefully we'll have you some other time. And of course, Mr. Adekunle Aliu, he said it himself. They said sometimes you are supporting the government, sometimes you think you know the government, but you do not know the government. My name is Shegun Odrai on behalf of the entire team saying, God bless you, stay out of trouble. The weekend begins tomorrow. The weekend begins tomorrow. Don't be weakened by the weekend. God bless you.